Hello, crafty friends. Welcome, Amanda with Crafting with Amanda, and I'm so glad you stopped by. So I am doing day 1 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this is the best of, because this is the 10th round that she's done. So I found these 2 old photos from when I went to a spiritual journey retreat with my BFF from high school, and then 2 other ladies that I have grown to love when we moved up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And so I pulled out my old Aspen paper pack. I was going through my old paper packs from Close to My Heart, and I saw the Aspen, and I knew with the kind of the snowman theme sweater that I'm wearing and the colors in the background from the conference center that they would just work perfectly. So I went ahead and matted those on bamboo cardstock. It's a retired color. And then I do want to mention that this sketch is by Laura Whitaker, and instead of doing it the way she oriented it, I actually turned it 90 degrees clockwise because that's what worked for my photos. And I just encourage you to do that. Don't necessarily look at sketches of, it won't work with my photos. Turn it, move it, flip it, stretch it, make it work. So here I'm just taking some white acrylic gesso, and I'm kind of giving some background to where those clusters are on Laura's sketch. So I had marked it with a pencil, but then after I marked it, I realized that my pencil is out of lead, and my lead refills are packed in the garage, and so I'm without a pencil right now, but I will find one before we get too much farther. So here I'm just kind of doing that dry brush technique with the gesso, and then I'm looking at they call them stickies sheets, and it's a chipboard weight cardstock that is a sticker. And I just thought, looking at Laura's sketch, she has kind of paper underneath, like it's a double matted photo section, and I just thought that I would do a stretch of the zip strip. And I was going to pull it off, and then it was at that time that I realized you can't put the zip strip down before you put the photo mat down because they need to bump up against each other. And then as I was going to put the photo mat down, I knew I wanted to ink the edges in red because there's so much red in Sonia and my sweaters. And then I don't know if you saw that bobble in the screen, but I then knocked my tripod, camera holder pod, one of the legs off, and so I was catching the camera at that time, so that was what that bobble was for. So I inked the edges of the photo mat, and then off camera I took my sack of cornstarch and took the sticky off the back of all those stickies. And then this is it's a metallic watercolor, and it's something that I received from Christmas a couple of years ago, actually. So I just squirted that with water, and I didn't make you watch, but I waited about 45 seconds to a minute just to kind of soften the colors in that watercolor set. And then I'm just spritzing, kind of splattering it over those little cluster places and trying to fill in or give some background noise on the outdoor denim cardstock, which is also a retired color. And you can't really see them on the camera, so here I did a couple close-up photos for you, and then you can kind of see it. In real life, it really does fill in that area. And I'm going to put the title, Magic of the Season. I always feel so renewed and refreshed. Spiritual Journey happens in January, and I always feel so renewed after attending one. So the Magic of the Season just seemed to fit for me, even though it's not necessarily winter or Christmas. It's a renewal time, which is unusual for me. For winter, spring and summer, yes, flowers growing. So here I'm going to go ahead and add some more of the candy apple and the scarlet inks. I kind of did both colors on the edge of that title, and then I'm going to dry fit or audition all the other little pieces that I pulled off that sticker sheet to kind of fill in those 3 focal areas that Laura has on the sketch. And I love that there was 3 of the square snowflakes, and then there was 3 of these little mini round snowflakes, and I ended up pulling some buttons off of there, but I hadn't gotten to the point of adding buttons to this layout yet. So if you haven't watched my channel, you might not have heard me say, when I don't know what I want to do next, and especially I sometimes get stymied with embellishments, I'll do whatever it is that I know what I can do. So I knew where I wanted the journaling to go. So using my T ruler, I went ahead and added those. And then once those were added, then I looked at the stickies sheet again and saw that there were some buttons that actually had some extra little paper on it. And if you look at Laura's layout, she has that on both sides of her photo matting. So I just thought that kind of absolutely followed that sketch. And again, you don't have to follow the sketch, but if there's a good idea and it works and you have the embellishments that work, by all means, I'm going to take advantage of somebody else's creativity. So then I just tucked that saying from the stickies, and what that says is, winter is a time for comfort, for good food and warmth, for touch of a friendly hand, and for a talk beside the fire. Well, and that really resonates to me. At this time in our lives, we lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and my best friend lived 6 hours away. So when she came to the retreat, we just got to visit and talk and, kind of refill that cup, as they say. And then my journaling just says that spiritual journey was even better with great friends. And Laura didn't get to come every year. She had a full-time job and, kids as well. And so getting vacation time for those couple days was not always in the cards for her. So here's some close-ups so that you can see the splatters. And then I did add these pieces of red ribbon that were on my craft table just because I needed something to balance the sweater and Sonia's shirt. Here's how you can connect with me on social media. And then if you are a subscriber to my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I hope that you will stay with me as we get this transition from California to Florida. My videos might be a little more hit and miss. Thank you again, and I hope you have a blessed day.